I'm happy to introduce to you the candidates for Shelton City Council, position 6. We'll begin with opening statements with Sam Pettis and hear from him on the role of City Commissioner and what makes him most qualified for that position. You have 90 seconds for your answer.
Hi, my name is Sam Pettis. Lived in Shelton 20 years, worked for Mason County PD3 for 24 years. I've seen a lot of things from the outside, looking in, complaining, and then this came up and thought to myself, well, instead of complaining, let's do something about it. There's a lot of things that need to be touched with in the city of Shelton. Roads is big, the budget is big, the money we owe is even bigger. We got to find a way to pay that off. But besides that, that's the reason I'm here.
Great, thank you. Next, we'll hear from Steve Thompson.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am running for position 6 on our newly expanded Shelton City Council. I have called Shelton my home since 1983, and I worked in Shelton at certified manufacturing from 1973 to 1992, and I was employed with Intercity Transit in Olympia from 1992 until my retirement in October of 2016. I'm a newcomer to the political arena, but every politician has stood in my shoes in one time or another. I feel that I bring a number of assets that will prove valuable to this council. I believe strongly in volunteering as it is good for the soul. And I have done that for many years, just not in the political arena. I see this as a chance to give my time and my energy to this community. I will bring honesty, integrity, common sense, transparency, and accessibility to this council. My platform is simple. I have a vision of what this community could be. I have a number of ideas how Shelton could attract business. I'm looking at tourism. We need to bring revenue and bolster our economy, and the timber industry is gone, so we need to find something else. Secondly, I believe we need to work closely with the county to attract manufacturing types of jobs. We should provide incentives.
Thank you, Steve. Bailee, you're up.
Hi, my name is Bailee Syrek. I am a recent graduate from Washington State University. I graduated with a political science degree. While I was in school, I actually worked on a city council campaign for Andy Ryder in Lacey. And that experience really opened my eyes to the importance of local politics. And I loved talking to people and learning how I could be a voice to people. And what I think I bring to this position is youth. I think it's important that you have some youth in your new city council. I don't have any long-standing biases like many other people. And so I think it's really important that we bring a diverse group of people to this. I've also always worked in small businesses, so I understand the importance and the struggle of owning one, so I feel it's really important to help local businesses in any way we can. And most importantly, I will always use my platform to be a voice to the people. I will always listen to people, citizens, listen to their problems, and use their words to vote accordingly for what they think is best for the city. And then I also wanted to thank the Chamber for changing the random draw to be viewed by people. I really think it's important, and it was a step toward transparency, and I thank you.
Joe Schmit.
Thanks. I see a community where the people's voice is the strongest, where families and businesses can thrive, where safety and prosperity build a strong community. I'm a father, a husband, your neighbor. I'm an Air Force veteran, and I have been a volunteer firefighter in Shelton. Simply put, the role of the city council is to serve the public. I am a public servant. Early on, I was taught the value of hard work. My father worked long hours for our family's small plumbing and heating business. Our phone would ring many nights and weekends. My father's dedication put food on our table. But that's not all. He made sure our community had running water and heat during the frigid Buffalo, New York winters. Sometimes his customers could not afford the bill. Sometimes it was a barter system. But his lesson was simple. It's important to be part of a community. It is to honor his values, these values of hard work, dedication, and service, and that is why I hope to be able to serve you on the City Council.
Thank you, Joe. Steve, you'll answer this first. You have 90 seconds. Please tell us about an action or a vote that the commission has taken in the last 2 years with which you feel very strongly, either strongly agree or disagree with, and why. Yes. Sorry.
I really can't answer that. I'm just drawing a blank on that. I know there's been some decisions, the Roundhouse, that would be a good tourist attraction that there seemed to be no interest from the council on. But other than that, I'm not really sure.
Thank you. Bailee, please tell us about an action or vote that the commission has taken in the last 2 years with which you either strongly agree or disagree with, and why.
The city council vote to change from the commission to the city council was so important. Not only is it going to bring public trust back by having more people in the seats, but it brings more diverse opinions and more conversation to the table, having 3 people rather than 7. It also, Shelton is one of the last cities that had a 3-person commission, so it's really a big step for Shelton to actually make real change, and I think that's awesome.
Thank you. Joe?
To echo that, early on when the resolution was made to move from a commission to a council, it did not pass, and I disagreed with that wholeheartedly. Ultimately, the resolution yesterday evening with the resignation of the city manager, Ryan Wheaton, I also disagreed with, and that's my response.
Thank you. Sam?
The one thing off the top of my head is when they voted and they dropped the sewer rates to hook up to the sewer. And the building permits, that's a biggie. If they want growth, they need to drop them rates a little bit. I got a rental and I remodeled an 1890 house. I did a lot of permits, and it ain't much, but it did help a lot when I was doing that. Thank you.
Thank you. Bailee, you'll answer this question first. Again, you'll have 90 seconds, each of you, for your answers. Please explain why you're running for City Council. What skill sets and experience do you bring to the table that makes you the best candidate for this position?
I think I addressed this a little bit in my opening statement, but I am running because it's so important for there to be fresh, new ideas and faces in Shelton. I feel like there's been the same handful of people that have been on the committees and worked in the city, and I feel like it's really important to shake things up and have new people in here. Like I said, I think my youth is a big asset. I don't have long-standing biases. I don't have alliances or enemies, and I think it's really important to have people in there like that. Plus, I have a really diverse background in local businesses. I've worked at a chiropractic office owned by my family. I've done the billing, I've ran the office, I've hired people, and and then we own a dirt movers, First Choice Dirt Movers. It's an excavation company here in Shelton, and I helped do the bids, I helped open the business, and so I have a lot of knowledge on local businesses, and I think that I can use that to be an asset to the city.
Thank you. Joe, please explain why you're running for City Council. What skill sets and experience do you bring to the table that makes you the best candidate for this position?
When I opened, I talked about public service and my background in public service. I think the last 10 years working for the Department of Transportation, as an emergency manager, I was involved in a lot of local issues, and I obtained a pretty good skill set with working with several partners, building partnerships to ultimately, prepare for, bad days and things that occur. When I was talking with some coworkers of mine about running for political office, one of the discussions I had with a coworker was about a state legislator that ran out of Lewis County, or was in a state legislator from Lewis County several years ago. And one of the key factors that my coworker pointed out to me was that individual made it a point to communicate and talk to everybody who either phone called or met with this individual. And that is definitely something that I want to bring to the table. You're being responsive and being able to be a sounding board for the public, and that's my goal. Also, one of the other pieces here to emphasize is wouldn't be an elected official. You're a public servant in this position, and that's what I'm hoping to do.
Thank you, Joe. Sam, why are you running for city council, and what skill sets and experience do you bring to the table that makes you the best candidate?
Well, I've been here 20 years. I've seen good changes. I've seen not so good changes here. I think the main thing is I'm not a politician. I don't want to be a politician. I'm doing this for the community. Another thing, I stand up for myself. I have a backbone. I don't get pushed into choices I don't want to do. And for that, I'm a builder. I've seen a lot of things in this town. I guess that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Sam. Steve, why are you running for city council, and what skill sets and experience do you bring to the table?
I bring passion. I have ideas. I have a vision of what this community could be. I'm not content to be a suburb of Olympia. I want to invest in our city, and I believe we need to have a transparent government. That hasn't happened. I believe I will bring honesty, I will bring integrity, I will bring collaboration. I believe sincerely, and I can disagree without being disagreeable. So I'm willing to work with a council to better our city, and I will tap into our greatest asset, and that's you guys, the citizens. You're the ones that really have the say in our city. Thank you.
Thank you. With that, we'll begin with closing statements. Each of you will be given 1 minute, and Joe, we'll hear from you first.
Shelton is faced with many issues. Many of these issues are not uncommon to all of us, and we are all aware of what those issues are. My challenge to all of us here is let's move away from just being aware and let's focus on understanding, because only when we truly understand the core problem can we commit to action or advocacy. It's time for Shelton to work on solving Shelton's problems. Let's do this together. Thanks.
Thank you. Sam, your closing statement?
Well, like I said before, I'm not a politician, and it shows. I'm here for a change. Like everybody else been saying, Shelton needs to work together. Shelton needs to come together. I totally agree with that. I love this town. Kids, raised kids, they're in college now, they're gone. They'll come back, of course. But it's just, I'm doing it for Shelton. Thank you.
Thank you, Sam. Steve Thompson?
I'm not going to read this. I went overboard last time. I feel honored that I have an opportunity to even sit in this chair. And whether I win or lose, I've gained a lot of experience, and I have realized that I can make a difference in this city. And I want to see a community, not a city. I want to see a community. And I will work my hardest. I'll bring my passion. I will bring my honesty, and I'll bring my collaboration to the table. And I will work and do whatever it takes to take this city into the future. Thank you.
Thank you. And last, Bailee Syrek?
I actually want to use this time to not talk about me or the election at all. I would like to talk about Tyler Helinski, a WSU quarterback who just committed suicide yesterday. he had everything going for him and still felt there was no way out. And I feel like this is such an important issue we need to spread awareness for. Mental illness and depression are not things to be taken lightly, and the suicide rates are going up, and we need to bring awareness to this issue. And so I'm praying for him and his family and the WSU community, and I'm also praying that anybody who's struggling with the same issues can find the strength to ask for help, and also just be nice to everybody. You never know what someone else is going through. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll take a quick break as we reset the stage for the candidates vying for Shelton City Council, seat 7.
Good job.